makes a story? Every story must have three things: a beginning, a middle, and an end. But why do you have to have a beginning? Beginning is where your story starts. It's where you make sure that the audience will be interested. Beginning is also where you introduce your characters. It's where you tell who's going to be the star in your show, who's going to go against them, and it's where you talk about what the story is going to be. The beginning of a story is also the part of the story where you give the background information. Why is this character important? What is their mission? And is the story interesting enough to make you want to keep reading? The next part of the story is the middle. The middle of the story is where you get to the exciting stuff. The sword fights. It's where your characters fall in love, and it's where you learn the most about who your character is. Another important part about the middle of the story is the climax. The climax is the most exciting part of the story. It's the part that everyone has been waiting for. The climax is the part of the story where people's excitement starts to go up and up and up until you reach the top. And that's when you've reached the climax of your story. After the climax, the story starts to decline and come to its end. If you have written your story well, everyone is excited after the climax and wants to know what happens next. And the end is where it all gets explained. The end is where the action stops and you answer some of your readers' questions. Questions like, is there going to be another story? What happens next for your characters? And do they get their happily ever after? Now, let's review the 3 things you need to make a story. The first thing every story needs is a beginning, where you introduce your characters and talk about what the story is going to be about. The second thing every story needs is a middle, where you have the climax and you learn about your character. And the last thing every story needs is the end, where you wrap up the story and everything comes together.